to check that we're actually doing live stuff.
Okay, you're okay. I've got the.
We're there.
We are.
10 seconds live.
10, 9, 8,
Time for
7.
bollocks. Yes, we're here. It went straight into it. Wow. Right.
Oh, mine's gone into mod view. Yep, we're here.
That one.
Can we hear us? Can we hear us? Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Yep. Hi.
Hello, everybody. We've had a bit of a shenanigans as always. It wouldn't be a my
I'd
podcast.
be really upset if we didn't have shenanigans.
Without shenanigans. So let's just jump straight into it. Welcome to Mindful Bollocks, the podcast where spirituality meets real life, and sometimes things go awry. Often, every time things go awry.
Every single freaking time. Hang on, I haven't got my gubbins. We're doing well. Hang on.
This week.
Oh, I'm Kay. Hi.
Okay, yeah, I'm Mel. As you can tell by, we've actually got name things up because we're in 2 different locations this week. So, we've got 5 people watching. Hello, 5 people. Say hello to us in the things. And
very nice to see you.
We'd love to know who's watching us. Yeah, so this is a bit of a diversion from normal.
Actually,
we haven't prepared anything. We do have an episode in the bag from last year when we had other tech problems. So, but I've been ill.
That went weird.
And so we've decided, and I want, I think Kay and I both talked in the past. Tap to watch. Sorry, I think phone was doing. I hate New Year's resolutions. How about you, Kay? You still there?
Yes, I don't get it. I don't get it because you set yourself up for a fail. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think you just set yourself up for a fail.
Absolutely, I agree. It just.
I think.
Sorry,
I don't think you need a new year either, just to change your mindset.
No, definitely not.
If something's in the back of your head and you want to change something, don't wait for a new year or anything. Just change it.
Yeah,
there's always a new year anyway. We've said it before, haven't we?
Yeah, we said there's so many different New Years. Obviously, beginning of February, there's a Chinese New Year. It's because there's so many different calendars. There's so many different New Years. So. Mr. Mal, apparently we're on a time delay, so you can probably hear me because he's upstairs. So you can probably hear like 2 of me. So yeah, so there's so many calendars. Pagan New Year obviously is Samhain, Halloween, which we've already had an episode on. But just it's also, I think for me, because people think that new resolutions, it's all and diet, all these things, like it's obviously usually about I'm going to lose weight this year, I'm going to get fitter. It's all about it's all about willpower. But people with ADHD, willpower isn't enough. It's just doesn't work. It's not how we for a lot of people who are neurodivergent, it just doesn't work like that. So I just get.
Do you get stuck?
Demotivated really quickly?
Do you get stuck? As in, it's just interesting for me to understand, because I almost will go, well, as you know, like the manic slightly, which is when I've got to get everything done and give myself a ridiculous time period to do it in, like a stupidly short time period. And you see me when I've done that, literally, and I've got to learn something. I've got to get it done in 48 hours, and I've got to completely understand how this works or that works.
Yeah.
And then for that 48 hours, I'm a horrible person, and I literally am, because I'm so fixated on learning it. So that's why I think New Year's resolutions don't work particularly for me, because I want it to be sorted quickly. Do you know what I mean? I almost to instantly.
I don't want to wait like the year. I want if I want to, you know, I don't want to it be different in a year. I want it to be different now. As part of that, but also I also set myself up like this completely complex. Like I have to have a chart, and I have to have this and it. And I'm trying to sort of set myself up for success, but in a way it sets me, because I then don't do it. I make it sometimes possible to make it overcomplicated, and I don't do it.
I'll also worry about what people think if I say, "Oh, I'm going to do this," and I'll hyperfixate on it. I'll be thinking, if I'm really my worst own enemy if I don't achieve something I say I'm going to do. Like I hate to let anyone down, and I won't do it ever intentionally. And there's times in life where things just happen, don't they? And you do let people down. And I feel that if I commit to a New Year's resolution and I'm like all swings and balls, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. It's going to be this time next week. I'm going to have a really short haircut, and it's going to be bright blonde, and and then I'll think to myself, I won't think I've got the right to change my mind. I'll be like, because I've said it, I'll think I've got to do it. When in actual fact, there's this really powerful statement, which is no.
Yeah, and actually, it was,
a long
I've reevaluated, and it's not.
No.
I think,
but that's why I just don't like New Year's resolutions.
I just never keep up with them, and then I feel shit, and it's like it's doing me worse to actually try and not keep up with them. And that sort of, you know, because I struggle with negative self-talk anyway, and low self-esteem. So to do them and then fail and not achieve anything, and be like within a week, just be like, oh, I'm already in chaos, I'm not doing anything. So it's just,
that's exactly
better for me, not to do it.
Yeah, me too. And it's also, I'll literally do the self-doubt nod, which is like, I didn't manage that. That's something else I'm shit at. And when you've got that element that's already within your psyche and your thought processes, you don't need to be fueling it, to be honest. And it's taken a long time to realise that you're not going to actually, and you're not going to actually achieve everything that you set out to achieve. Always have aspirations, but I'm now much more realistic. I'll still put the work in, and it's like we weren't able to connect to the microphone here, and I know what I'd done. I'd gone into the setting that I always go into when we literally were using the other microphone, and my head had gone straight there. I'd taught myself that from previously. It's like my own default setting. And it's with everything. So to set myself up and miss it.
Well, we do have like, we take, this is what I do when I come and log in. I'm like, I've got to, you know, and you have a little pattern. So if you automatically do this thing,
that's
almost,
exactly,
you don't necessarily recognize that you're doing it. It's just, this is how I start my computer, is I have to open this program or something. And actually in this instance, you didn't need to do that. I think it is learning to, as I think some times with New Year's resolutions, there's a level of self-flagellation. I haven't done it. So it's learning to work with ourselves and actually have more love, because I know I do, people who haven't watched this before, or I do something called morning practice now called Fit Inventory, and I actually wanted to do it for years. I learnt it when I was in the sex cult, and then I really found it helpful. Well, we used to sit down, because everything was about community, and so it was body doubling for me because I'm ADHD. So it was like, oh, this is the time where I have been told we're all sitting down now, because it was like a morning practice in the community houses that I lived in, or on the 2-week course that I did. It was right, we get up, we do these things. It was like I didn't have to think about it. I was just told this is what I'm doing, and I did it. When it came to doing it myself, I couldn't do it until I started taking my ADHD medication, and my brain chemistry, whatever, and neurons fired differently. So I now pretty much do it every day, unless I don't think I did one on Monday this week because I was still feeling quite ill. Actually, no, I did do it. I'm on my 3-day streak.
That's good. That's good.
So but I didn't do any. I was going to do it last week, like between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, but no, what day?
But I was so ill. I just did actually and like allow myself. Actually, okay, it's fine. But normally when I have that break, I won't go back to it, like almost. But actually, I have a private chat. Ooh. Oh, it's from you. I just didn't notice that. Sorry. We were trying to sort out. I was like, oh, it's a private chat. Oh, it's from you. We were trying to sort out the sound. Anyway, yeah. So it's like
I've got mine on as moderator at the minute as well. So that's so we have got official moderator.
Ooh.
I know.
We're posh today. So yeah, normally when I break, it's like going to the gym.
Yeah, I know. The mindset's got to be there.
I can go for about we can go 2 or 3 times a week for a couple of months, and then something happens that I don't go, and then that's it. The pattern is broken. But with and we were doing walking last year as well during this, like after
you were during the summer, weren't you?
Yeah. And even before summer ended, even we ended up we didn't go for 1 week, and then it was a couple of weeks, and then we never went back to it. So for me, it's really easy. Like, and the thing that resonated with me is like for ADHD, it's they say, oh yeah, if you do it for so many days, it forms a habit. But that's for neurotypical people. Like, nothing for me is habit. Not brushing my hair, not cleaning my teeth. I have to think about doing it every day. Like now, the thing, because I was ill and I went to the doctor last Friday and they gave me a new inhaler for my asthma.
Yeah.
And because it's weird that almost like now that I only have to take it once a day, because before I was supposed to take it twice a day, it feels easier to remember.
It's because it's just a task done, isn't it? And it's task complete.
Yeah. Do it in the morning, clean my teeth, because I have to rinse my mouth out or clean my teeth after it, because the powder stuff, I think, I can't remember. They never really tell you why. With medicine, you just need to do it. You're not going to tell you what it's doing to you. I think it's got sugars in it. I worked out that it's got sugars in it, and it's probably
just one of the additives to keep it stabilised.
Yeah,
because they're quite clever now, the puffers. You know, and I think the way that they're moving away from the solid aerosols is good. It's really good. We are not sponsored by Tango.
No. Other drinks are available, but don't drink Fanta. Don't drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
Oh, don't. I really like Pepsi Max. I know.
Fortunately, I think, well, I was said before, it's like
coming out my... It does, doesn't it?
It is sitting on your head.
Might move him quick. Oh, he's all right where he is. He's happy.
We've just realised we've both got soft toys in our background.
Yeah, I've got dinosaur as well. Well, unsurprisingly, a dinosaur.
Dinosaur is cool.
One of the customers at Mimic Gifts, Mel, bought me that. She literally found it in the charity shop. Lovely Julie, and she came in and she just went, "Hey, I saw this," and she said, "Yeah, well, it was only about 4 weeks after Simba had passed away, bless him." And she went, "I know you've got your lovely doggy," and I never said to her. I never said, you know, that minute where you just...
a dog toy it was for your dog.
Yeah, how lovely is that though? That she actually thought of him. I was just like,
yeah.
I remember just popping him under the counter and thinking, "Oh, that was really."
I'm not going to cry. Don't cry, don't cry.
No, I do miss.
Yeah.
I miss that a lot. I miss the. It's almost like with the New Year's resolutions. It's kind of habit, isn't it? You get used to what you do, your routines, and what you really, really enjoy in that. And socialisation was definitely fabulous in the shop. I mean, I don't know how many people I made friends with, but there was a few. There was a good few.
Well, that's how we met.
Yeah, it is. And networking, wasn't it? So, yeah, it's both.
So, I think, yeah, that's one of obviously I'm now to do this. I also am self-employed and just not getting out. That was one of the things when I went to work for the charity, who will not be named. I was like, oh, I actually really enjoy, to begin with, I really enjoyed like getting out and socialising with people. And then obviously shenanigans ensued. So I do enjoy it quite so much. But I do miss, because both me and Mr. Mel work from home. It's literally, other than when he pops out to do other stuff, 2-3 times a week, then that's really the only time we spend apart. And obviously, normally I come to see you on a Wednesday and we do a recording. So that's sort of the only time I get out and see other people. So maybe that's something I need to work on this year. Do
you know what?
It was sort of something I was working on last year, and I did. Well, yeah, not necessarily last year. In the past, I have like tried to. Okay, I need to try and be more with ADHD. Can be a bit out of mind. So trying to make more effort to keep in contact with people.
It's really hard though, because I think you can unintentionally isolate yourself. I've been obviously doing quite a lot with some of the community stuff like Art for You and that, and you don't realise how many people actually need the outlets of spaces to go to. It's like Tactics Centre in town in Leighton's got a really amazing chatty cafe on a Tuesday. It's kind of marketed to the over 50s, and there's people literally go there and they can get they get a cup of tea. It's a warm space, and but there's people there who can help them with other stuff as well, like what they're going through stuff. And until like the Art for You thing, which is an amazing situation anyway that's going on with Tactic, I didn't realise that there was those sort of facilities available for people. It's over 50. I think you could almost do with it for people who aren't over 50. I think that's a bit of a weird remit, because there's lots of people who probably face a bit of isolation from working from home or doing part-time jobs, or could actually do with the bit of advice they can get at things like Chatty Cafe and the community that they get from there. They were coming out. I went down the wrong day, and they were coming out and they were talking. This was before Christmas, and they were talking about they'd arranged to all go to the Mayor's Christmas Carol concert together just through Chatty Cafe, which they're building their own communities, and that's all you need, isn't it? Because if you ain't got community and you're isolated, widowed, or just on your own, that's a lot, isn't it? When something goes wrong. Oh, I can't hear you, Mel.
I think I turned off.
You did.
It's better. I think because it obviously has turned itself off after a while, battery function, so it turned off. Or either that or it's running out of battery because it's been charged up.
Is it flashing? You have run out of battery, Mel, haven't you? Oh no. You got the other one to swap it out?
No, the other one had run out as well. Is it back on? Back on for the mic. Oh no. Fuck it.
That's the technical term.
No. Right. Hold
That's
on.
the ghost. They don't want us to. She's gone. Dracula's cool.
No, that will default.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'll put it on just the standard one inside the thing, so it probably won't be as good quality, but you can hear they're not hearing me at all. Well, that's obviously very subjective. What was I saying? I can't remember. Are you saying about community?
Yeah, we were saying about this.
Well, yeah, I was saying when I first moved in, like, because one of the issues I had was with my neighbours in my flat. And it was because it was 2 blocks of 6 flats, and I was trying to like create a community there because I'm very community minded and I think it's very important. And we used to have we ended up having a few barbecues, but it was only the same 3 flats that would
actually participate.
But when I moved here, so like everybody came out and said hello and welcomed me, and I was like, oh, this is so lovely. But since then, like, I've been here 2 years, and 2 of the people have moved.
Oh, right, okay.
And the people who've moved in are quite one of them. She's really friendly and lovely, but she's never here. She's not here very often, so you can't really be part of a community if you're not really here. And the other one side, they're just not. They're very quite isolationist and on their so I sort of, it makes me a bit sad, but our local vicar is actually on the corner, and I'm going to go and talk. Let's bring us on to my my not New Year's, not resolutions. Everything with me is a not something. But I really just taking stock. Really, I think it's this time of year is a really good time for reflection. And just looking at all the things in the last probably couple of years, I've tried to be a more of an activist type person and trying to step up and do a bit to try and make a difference in the world, and feeling like it's not really making much difference. So I've reevaluated what am I doing, because it's really tiring to keep doing stuff and not feel like it's doing anything. I think it just makes you tired. So I'm like,
it's exhausting, isn't it? It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's just like
that's what it is.
Shouting from the rooftops that this is wrong, and other people are shouting from the rooftops that things are wrong, but nothing's changing. In fact, with Trump invading Venezuela and all that sort of shenanigans, and places around the world not really standing up and saying it's wrong, it just seems to be getting worse and worse. So I'm like, okay,
you've got to be careful taking on an awful lot of everyone else's feelings as well.
I think I do.
You're quite sensitive and empathetic. I know you don't like that word, but
I don't know. I don't like it when it's misused. I don't like it when people say that they're an empath when they're often the people that are going around stomping all over other people's feelings. And
well, that's just it can just sometimes it can just be a bit narcissistic, can't it? But if you think someone's upset and you feel it, that they're upset, and you're soft and you're actually in tune with, I hate to think I've ever upset anyone, and literally things will upset me terribly that wouldn't upset other people, and sometimes I do think to myself, I'm just like, sometimes, oh, for Christ's sake, Kay, grow up, It's silly, isn't it? It's but it isn't. I don't want to stop being sensitive, and I
think we need more sense. I think people need to get more sensitive, not less sensitive.
Yeah, I know, but I think people are desensitized.
Yeah,
to other people.
I think sometimes the people who are, I think you have to look at the camps, because I think there is people who are just literally insensitive and just assholes. And then there are people who are so highly sensitive that they've had to turn off.
That's right, for self-preservation.
To survive in the world that's going. It's like I can't cope with.
Yeah,
shit things are.
That's I don't often watch the news now, for that reason. Not because a lot of it is because the way the news is tailored. I then have to go down a rabbit hole and understand where that all comes from and if I agree with it and all that.
Yeah, but whether they're just telling the truth.
Yeah, but it's not even just that. It's just the fact that it's the imagery as well. because it is so visual and appears to be real. It is motivating and it's emotional, and and if you are quite sensitive to stuff like that and you can't switch off from it, it's a time of nightmares, to be quite honest. And
I think it's learning to, like, when the things in the basically genocide in Gaza started happening, I was like, everything, I just followed everybody, because I like, we need to make sure this is being pushed out, because obviously the mainstream media, this is not some like conspiracy, the mainstream, like there is a mainstream media, there's a mainstream media, and then there's all the stuff that people are going on, obviously there's like it wasn't being talked about, and it was definitely being skewed. So I was like, I need to follow everybody and make sure, like, I need to, like, I almost took it on as my own personal responsibility. If I don't interact with this, it's not going to get out to as many people. It'll be my fault that I like take on too much. Like,
exactly. Make it personal.
Arrogance. Like, I am that powerful that if I don't interact with this post, then
it's intentional.
It's like,
it's not intentional. It's done with the best intent.
Yeah, but it was actually just so depressing, and it's like learning, like, I don't want to completely disconnect from it, because this is something terrible that is happening. So it's learning to how to
you almost got a
the issue is it's often like lots of different places are doing the same thing, so I will see the same image over like 3 times because I follow several different people, and then obviously because they're trying to disseminate it and make sure it's out, so I see it several times. So it's like trying to make sure that
also, I find as well that a lot of stuff becomes submissive, almost that it's just in your peripheral. I love to listen to audio and podcasts and everything, and literally sometimes I'll read, and I'll be reading on my phone, which I love to read on my phone, and then I'll have something on in the background, and then you've taken it all in submissively, and you've got all these feels about it, and it's getting to switch off from it. And that's where almost my New Year's resolution has been. I've started again going back into looking at some of the Renaissance art history, which I've loved for years, and looking through all that. And that's all the things at the times of that. It's like history repeating itself, and I'm just like, oh bloody hell! You're finding parallels in what's going on now.
Well, right now,
we're
very much in Hitler territory, where he wasn't. I saw a post earlier saying that it was talking about how nobody really batted an eyelid when Hitler annexed Austria. He said Australia.
Australia before, didn't you?
Yeah. I think that reminds me when I was little. Well, not even that little. Not like a baby, but younger. A long time ago. My nan went to Austria for her holiday with my granddad, and I kept telling everyone they were going to Australia. So it's just a habit. It's a long time habit of crossing the two over. But
that's a learned behavior then.
Like that, basically, nobody is standing up to Trump right now, and telling him no, that's breaking international law. They just keep talking about international law, but not. It's just like everyone's so fucking weak.
I don't know what. I think as well, there's perhaps more going on than we're aware of at the moment. And again, like we said, it's about media and media washing. We're not
on this pup. Just in case you've been watching, not in this. We were talking about media washing yesterday.
Yeah, not on this. But it's tapered to what is it. What's out there is what we need to know, and what is wanted for us to know, and that is that kind of a line.
There's a big gap in between the two. What we need to know and what we're allowed to know.
It's just
becoming more conspiracy theorists every day. But I think
I don't want a good conspiracy theory, because I think if you've thought it, there's a reason behind you. Why have you thought it? You know, it's. I think
you've
got questions.
sometimes I think conspiracy theories, like the really way out what they're ones, like flat Earth and stuff like that, it's almost to occupy like, and somebody I know was a fluoride conspiracy theorist, and it's like, oh, it's because they're trying to dull the minds, but it's in a way they're like told to dull brilliant minds, but in a way, that's what's dulling, like, because there isn't discernment as to what actually, you know, critical thinking as to like where, what about the theory. It's just based on hypothetical stuff that are like the flat Earth is, well, there's ice. Antarctica is actually just a big wall because the governments are trying to keep us out from knowing what's on the other side. But why? Why are they? There's not really an explanation as to why they want to do that. So it's almost like it's the conspiracy theories, the actual conspiracy theories, rather than things we know are true. Like the government don't tell us everything that is happening because they know we won't like all of it. So it's almost, that's not like what we're saying here, isn't it? Really, it sounds conspiracy theorist, but it isn't, because it's known for a fact. Yeah. The thing we were talking about was where governments will release really bad news or stuff unpopular, not bad news. They will release unpopular news that people they know will kick up a fuss about on really bad news days, like 9/11. They released a load of stuff because they knew it would get. So obviously, when we had papers, actual physical papers, and it would get drowned out.
Do you remember where you were on 9/11, Mel?
I was at work. I remember it was just after lunchtime for us because we were in the UK. Right, and I remember coming back and someone was like, "What?" And we were, because we were in the complaints team, we had access to the internet and had.
Isn't that mad?
We were like basically watching it on.
Yeah.
It's mad that it's like it's going to be 25 years ago this year.
Yeah, I know, because my little boy Tom, he was a baby, and I can remember he was sat on my lap, literally, and then the whole of BB, I think we were watching CBeebies or something was on. It was a kiddie one, and everything just came up, and it was BBC World Service, just came up on every channel. And back, I don't even think
that's a bit of a dramatic change. Like, hey, I'm sitting here with my child. By the way, look at this massive traumatic event.
I think but it was that is the only time in my life I can ever remember anything impacting me. Well, that's the first time I can remember anything like from the media impacting me instantaneously. In the instant, it was pure fear. And I think it was because I was a mum at that point, you know, your whole dynamics changed. I was thinking to myself, what's next? It probably is traumatic, isn't it? And the way, because it was, I wasn't of an age when like anything terrorist-y that did go on, back in the 80s. I wasn't of an age to remember stuff like that particularly. No. But when you're bloody a 21-year-old girl with happy as Larry with your little boy and just having a lovely time sitting on the sofa watching, it was probably, it would have been Bob the Builder. I know it would have been Bob the Builder because he bloody loved Bob the Builder. And then it just all clicked in. That was it. I remember it, and that's the first time I thought I ever really grasped that there's so much that's out of our control. Just it's so scary, isn't it? Really, the world is a bit of a scary place, but we just got to put on our big girl pants and get on with it.
Yeah, I think that's looping back into my resolutions. Is I want to do more ground level stuff to make a difference, because I think that's where we do make change. We can't control what we vote the politicians in, but they don't actually give us monkeys, especially our two local ones. They just seem to be towing the party line and just turning up at local events for photo ops. And they'll say whatever to try and get your vote for them again next time. But I think where we can really make a difference is like just paying attention and looking locally, what needs to be done. And so what are the issues that we're experiencing? So obviously there's food insecurity. So I have an ability to make some fantastic pasta, as you know. So I'm going to look at using my pasta, and I don't use my pasta machine as much as I should. So looking at ways in which I can make lots of pasta to distribute to people. So, there's food getting out there. And looking at just how, grass, like insects and animals, and so pairing that with the food insecurity is like planting herb gardens and stuff around, because it's just like grass everywhere, which is ecologically dead, in a way. It's just, it doesn't really support much life. So putting out things there that will support, that people can then take, because obviously we were talking about scarcity, like people steal stuff because there is scarcity. So trying to create abundance in the there was another thing I wanted to do as well, and I've forgotten what it was.
Well, I think I was talking about the street link as well, which is the cold, because actually we have had temperatures that have been low enough to get people off of the streets. Shouldn't be street sleepers around at the moment, but there still are. And I don't think people are actually aware of what the process is and what you should do. And you do need to report people who are, it's fine walking past and saying, oh yeah, I'm going to buy you a coffee or something with the best of intentions. But if people aren't genuinely reporting the fact that they're still sleeping under, to all intents and purpose, a sleeping bag and that's it, these sort of temperatures, then no one's going to help them and get them somewhere to sleep that isn't on the streets. And that it's actually being aware of what the process is. Central Beds actually did share the street link telephone number in that, which I will link in into our...
Isn't there an app as well?
The app is better.
Yeah.
The app is much better. I shared that on my stories this morning.
Yeah. Is that street link, is that just Central Beds, or is that something that's national?
That's nationwide. That's nationwide. Yeah, you just have to report the postcode of where the person is. It's that simple, and it is literally it is picked up because we are in a period of cold weather, which means that there is more likely that someone will access help. I know it's not ideal, and it sounds like I'm being a bit morally, I'm a do-gooder and all that, but if you've walked past people and they're absolutely blue in the lips, which I have done when I've walked to work before, and then you just, it's horrible. It's horrible, and all of us are only a few steps that could be us. You never know. And I don't, at the end of the day, if you're seeing an animal and you're thinking, oh, blimey, it's too cold for you to be outside, why is it not the same thought process for that person? I know, it's just a little bit, it just doesn't sit with me. That I know sometimes they're not particularly approachable, as I've spoke about on here before, and perhaps they don't necessarily want the help, but you don't have to approach them. You can just literally report where they are, the location. I think you can do it with these 3 words as well. Is that
what 3 words?
What 3 words? You can do it with that as well. So no one has to know that you've said there's someone actually who appears to be sleeping rough. And even if you're not sure if they're sleeping rough, I'd still do it. I'd still report it. I'd still say, they're there, and then at least you've done your bit, haven't you?
Yeah, because you can't. That's sometimes definitely my issue, is that I second guess myself with things. And I'm like, I don't want to be interfering in other people's lives.
That's exactly it.
It's not. If you have told somebody that they're there, then it's for that organisation can then come out and talk to them. If they're not there anymore, then they're
not there. All well and good. If because there are people who do decide that they don't want to sit in their flats or their homes, and they do sit on the streets because that is their mindset and what they want to do. So they might not even be homeless. But if you've done your bit, I think it's too cold. It's too cold.
Well, I know there is a guy in Milton Keynes, I think, who he will come in for the winter. He doesn't in the summer. He'll go out and live. He likes living. That's his lifestyle choice, is to live with a tent or whatever. But he knows, like, wintertime he comes in because he knows it's dangerous, and that's that's fine. It's just trying to make sure that the ones that want the help definitely are getting access to it.
That's where I sit on it, and it's also the fact that like there's people who you get to know characters around town if you're around town a lot. There's and people's backstories. There's a couple of them who ex-army and have nothing to do with family members, and you kind of think it's, even if all you're doing is saying hello and just make that little connection, but don't put yourself in danger either. That's what I'm going to say as well, because not everyone is.
If someone's having a mental health episode, you have to make sure that you're taking care.
Don't think the worst, but be prepared that not everyone wants to acknowledge or say hello, or
I think well, that's the thing we've talked about.
That they're in their own right mind.
Yeah,
I've had that as well.
I think that's where you need to definitely call in. Refer it to people who with the right skill set can come and support them. I think what you were saying that really is like saying hello, because it treats them as a human being. I think this the idea that we've been talking about pushing was something I'm really gutted I can't find the original story that I read. This is about 10 years ago, 10 or more years ago. Was it a pastor in America who used to keep like a small denomination of coin in several of his pockets, so every homeless person that he saw, he could give them, and so he could, because there's that thing of like, we do end up because there's even if we just people don't care and they'll just ignore them. But even if you do care, because you might, if you don't have cash on you or whatever, then it's like, I'm just going to pretend they're not there, and you sort of like, just not there. Whereas if you just got just 20p or 50p or something, just give it to them. If you just keep a couple of quid's worth of 20p's in your pocket, the amount of homeless people you probably do see on a daily, weekly basis, you can just give them, if everybody walked past and give them 20p and like said hello and said, here you go, mate, sort of thing. I think it would just be so different to be able to acknowledge that person sitting there, rather than just pretend they're not sitting there because you're not going to give them some money.
It's the fact of being dehumanized that it's. But I think people can be dehumanized in other situations as well, though. I think you could it's almost like, when you hear people's opinions of people, then they don't know the back of them either. And it's kind of like, but there's good, bad and grey in everything, isn't there? And that's why I like unpicking stuff. That's why I like history, looking at the patterns of how things go back round, and how you definitely have different personality types who seem to shout the loudest and get heard. It's odd. It's not odd, but it's just, again, it's power, isn't it?
Well, I remember that reminds me of like people often say that, oh, don't worry, when if you're bullied by someone, don't worry, they're going to end up deeply unhappy and lonely or whatever, and successful. But actually, people who have that trait often succeed, because they're happy to bully people out of, they'll just bully their way to get into the position they want, and they have this like arrogance. And so actually often they all just look at Donald Trump again. he is absolutely someone who is just a bully and
I think he's
quite piggy, and that sort of that's just childish.
That's really
bullying.
But that's his personality, and also his business background. I don't think it is so weird, isn't it? It's so weird, but it's just horrible, isn't it? My words.
Well, it sounds like the whole. If you look at it's socialization. I was watching something the other day that his niece Mary, her dad was supposed to be like the heir apparent, but he didn't. He could. I think he could see the dysfunction in the whole family, and it just. I think he ended up. He died quite young, due to alcohol issues. Yeah, and Donald. I think before that, Donald had already. The parent had already. Fred, isn't it? Fred, I think, is the dad. Had realised that. I don't know if he's. I shouldn't know his name. It feels very rude. I'm sorry. Mary's dad. It was clear that he wasn't going to be the heir apparent, and they sort of switched attention to Donald because Donald was definitely more like ruthless and cutthroat.
You can get it's interesting, isn't it? The dynamics of parentage and different personalities, and it's the nature nurture thing, isn't it? It's I was reading over Christmas, and it's like obviously it was a crime book. That's been my go-to. But it's like, is there innate evil? And I think there is. And the more sometimes when you see and you watch documentaries and things, and you just think, how did that scenario even come into that person's head? See,
I don't know if I agree that there's innate evil. I think, like people like I forgot his name now. I can picture him in my head. Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah.
This is because I am into true crime, and I look at it from the fact that that's why we look at it very insular. So we look at it from the family. Did the parent? Because often serial killers, they have a really bad relationship with their parents, particularly like a strong mother figure who would belittle them, blah blah blah, and they go out. There is that pipeline, but also I think it doesn't take into account the fact of basically misogyny, how as a society men are taught to look down on women and that we're lesser than. So that's part of it, because if you are taught to look down at women, but then there's a woman who is basically abusing you and being more powerful, you're told that you're supposed to be more powerful than women, but if there's a woman that's being more powerful than you, that's going to fuck up your basically fuck up your brain, because you're going to go, this is, and then you're going to act out in a way, and you can't act out necessarily directly towards that woman, so you act out towards women in general. And I think there's varying levels of that, from it's not just an either or.
There's women,
like you're either a really really nice woman or you're a serial killer.
I don't know,
spectrum.
I think, there's definitely, but I think evil exists. I do think there's definitely elements. Especially if you look historically at times, you've got Mary Ann Cotton and Myra Hindley, and that's innate evil. It wasn't self-preservation. That was just a wicked fucker. And I don't think that stems from, because you've still got self-control. You still make the decision to do it. And it's what makes you a psychopath is that you don't understand the boundaries, isn't it? And what is innately wrong and what is innately right. And then people disagree.
You don't care. You just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when we talk about it being evil, I think for me, it sort of distills it. It's too much like in the godly sense of stuff. Maybe that's my definition of evil, and it sort of takes away that choice. Because you're innately evil, you can't help but do that because you're innately evil.
Yeah, but I don't know.
That's
Maybe
the way I see it.
I just think it's in them.
Yeah.
It's just a way of describing someone who is bad and has done and been proven to do terrible things, and they made the choice to do those terrible things. And then
I think for me, the calling it, labeling it evil, takes away some of that choice. It makes it like, well, it was in them anyway. There was nothing they couldn't fight against it because they were just evil. So that's probably why I push up against
that terminology, which I understand. But then
I think yes, they are the things they are doing are evil. But I don't necessarily agree that it's intrinsic. They made the choice. I suppose we were talking earlier about how thieving and how sometimes you hear that voice that maybe I want that, but I don't have the money for it. But then you make the choice whether you take it or not.
Yeah, and that's what stops you doing it. 'Cause you're a good person, and you kind of like on no one's. It's different seeing someone in boots nicking sanitary towels or nappies.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh, for Christ's sake, that's desperate, isn't it? That's rather than some sort of twat literally just unfortunately nicking a load of deodorants to go and sell on the market cross or something because it's that time of year. That's terrible. But I do think that sometimes people are born bad. I do think that. I do think that you've got, and that's probably the terminology I should have said rather than evil. But then I do kind of believe in demonic possession as well. But that's another episode. But there's sometimes that what human beings can do to each other is absolutely abhorrent, really. It's disgusting. And it's not survival of the fittest, and it's not for self-preservation. Sometimes it's just for damn right spite. And because some of these horrible cases. Did you watch the Lucy Worsley new series, Mel?
I haven't yet, no.
You need to.
Yeah. Well, I think like what you're saying from like outright spite, but I think like thinking of it in a very much a man attacking woman point of view, that for me again is
attacking women can be terrible. Women can be the worst to each other.
Yeah.
I've worked,
but obviously the majority of attackers are men, and it's I think that is society for me. Excuse me, I've drunk a fizzy drink and now I'm burping. I'm so sorry. Because they're taught, it's part of all that misogyny of their patriarchy of they're taught the only emotion they can express is anger. They're not allowed to express the softer side, and that spite comes from feeling like because I'm sorry, someone else. But like I was also while I was getting ready today, I was watching that Therese that I was telling you about, and she one where she was looking at conservatives or right-wing people are saying that apparently because now they were surveyed high school. It's America. They surveyed high school children, so about 17, I think they said they were about 16, 17, and only about 61% said they wanted to get married. Of the girls said they want to get married, whereas it was something like 80 something. So it's dropped something. It dropped 21%.
Right. Okay.
And the conservatives are saying, "Oh, it's because you don't have Disney princess movies anymore," and it's not that simple, basically. So,
basically,
it's not the only thing in original Disney princess days, the only thing women could really aspire to was to get married and have children, because we didn't, you couldn't have your own bank account, or you couldn't have your own house or whatever. So now we actually have this ability to aspire to other things. So it's not necessarily that they don't want to get married or don't want to have loving relationships. This is her point, that they actually so it's like the society is changing. I can't even remember what the point of that bit was now. It was obviously something to do with men attacking women. Yeah,
but the fact
I would like to make the point that I wanted to make, really, because that's why I was telling that story. But ADHD, and these things happen.
Right. It wasn't disinteresting, was it? It's also brought up a topic about the fact that it's not necessary to be married now.
No,
it's not necessary. It's up to the individuals. The biggest commitment you can have with someone nowadays is ownership of a house, isn't it? Or a tenancy agreement. Because financially, that's what's going to get you into the most trouble if you do separate from each other. And also, it's a lot, really, if you were married or you didn't want to get married, it's a big expense. And we're in a time where it's not as important as it was. You weren't, a fallen woman if you lived out of wedlock. You're not now. And again, I know that says woman, and it does.
Yeah.
It was almost like, she never married him and then she went and lived with someone else. But actually, that was up to them, really. It's not. The assumption was years and years back that everyone was married, but there were people who just cohabited and decided to.
Well,
it's not
one of the interesting things that was in this video, that actually when Columbus, someone was writing about a Columbus, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he was talking about the indigenous people that they met there, and they were like flabbergasted because they didn't have marriage. There was no such thing as marriage. Like if a woman wanted to be with a person, they had a baby, that was fine, and they got bored with each other, they split up, and then they would move on, and it was that's just the way it was. There was no like, you must be with this person for the rest of your life no matter what, even if you're deeply unhappy. And it was very like the way we really need to be, really. But it's basically very healthy in interpersonal relationships and the relationship with the wider world. They were much more like mutual aid and community based and in touch with their environment.
Yeah, but that is it's. I think we've overcomplicated everything with some of the societal rules that we've enforced on ourselves, which are often it is through the moral systems. You've got the temperance movement, which was really big in Leighton Buzzard back in historically, and you've got and everything is about being morally upstanding, and that was another form was you've got to be married, you've got to conform to this. But it doesn't now. We've moved on from those times, and we've got our own thought processes. Rather than spending X amount, this survey that did it and said the kid, what was it, 60% didn't wanted to get married from 80, you said, was it?
Yeah.
That is a drop, but that's probably to do with a number of factors. Financially, it's expensive to get married. It's expensive, or unwedded or whatever.
Yeah. The whole thing of like, because it was such a surface level question, they didn't investigate what was behind it. It's like, do you never want to get married? It's just like, it just wasn't their main driving force anymore. It wasn't necessarily they didn't want to get married. It's just it wasn't their main
priority
purpose in life.
And it doesn't matter. You don't have to be married to form families or.
No.
And a family doesn't have to have children. A family can be two adults who cohabit and be a family. That's a family unit. You have to. It doesn't. The traditional idea of that you get married, you buy a house, you get your family, you make a family, you then have kids potentially if you want to, you get a dog, 5 guinea pigs, 16 pigs, a cow, an alpaca, all that, that you don't have to do that. You can if you want to, and that'd be fabulous if you wanted that. But you don't have to do it in that order anymore. Do it when you're comfortable to.
Yeah.
I think actually the whole
you don't even have to have the alpacas if you don't want to.
Oh, I'd love it though. I'd love it. But the whole marriage thing is a choice. It's a choice. And if you want to make that choice, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
That's brilliant too.
Thinking about things, I've also been watching health-related murder things. And also we've been talking about policing. And we will do an episode of that at some point. I was thinking it was, and this, what you were saying about it's a moral thing, it tied in with that in a way, like we act in ways that we seem and appear to be being moral, but actually, that's actually what happens then, is like actually people are doing what the hell they like behind. Like some people will change their name so they've got the same name, so it looks like, oh, they'll just call themselves, so they look married, but they're not actually married because they don't want to get, like, we then end up acting in, when it's enforced that you must act in this way, you then have to end up acting, you then actually not being yourself, and I think that happens in the way that connects in with like the police are supposed to be acting that this, they're supposed to be the legal arbiters and of whether, or the start of the legal arbiters of what is good and right, and therefore when they're doing things wrong they try and cover it up because they don't want to be seen, they don't want their, it has to be seen that they are this moral authority in a way, or legal authority, but in a way a moral authority as well. And with hospitals, when they make mistakes, we can't come clean with that we made this mistake, and actually
I think that's all institutionalized. All institutions, though. I think that's all they close.
Councils as well. Councils that we've been talking about as well. It's like,
I think it can be. I genuinely think that's everything. I think if something's gone terribly wrong, and there's going to be recourse, and you do close ranks regardless of what it is.
Post office is a good example.
Yeah, that's so bad. The post office, that's so bad, and so. But it was just the fact that it took so long and so many people had passed away by the time they got that sorted out as well. That's
still not even sorted out, really, is it?
No, it isn't. You've still got people who've paid back money that they shouldn't have done, haven't you? And you've still got people who've got prosecutions that are still being looked into, and that's horrific, because you think to yourself, it's such an institutionalized and familiar company, isn't it? Royal Mail, and and then it's just like, oh god,
post office not in there.
Yeah, I know.
They separated them out, even though, because obviously now they're two separate companies, aren't they? Royal Mail did the delivery, and Post Office is the friendly bits. Sorry,
they weren't though, were they?
I don't know if they were when they can't remember when they separated out. But obviously, it's all been done under the post office bit because it was the postmasters.
Yeah, because it was franchised out, wasn't it? It was the franchises. But
I think my uncle was a postmaster a long time ago now.
I used to love little sub post offices. They were great. They still are. There's still a few around, aren't there?
Our local shop had a post officey bit in it as well. And when they retired, because they used to close on a Wednesday, and they like the olden days, and when they sold the shop to someone else, and they then to keep the franchise, they had the people who bought it had to agree to open, not close on a Wednesday, and had to make sure everything. So I suppose because lots of places now, what they expect you to be open. If the shop is open, then it should be open, sort of thing. It's like irritating to get there and, oh shit, especially So as someone with ADHD, where you turn, I'm going to post that letter, and you get there and you realise it's Wednesday and it's shut in the afternoon.
Yeah, also it's time is precious, isn't it? It's that thing where your time isn't, like I said before, the time literally is, people think it doesn't cost anything to give someone your time, but actually it's the most precious commodity, really, because we've only got as much time as we've got, and if you gift it to someone, then that's and if you've made space for time, yeah, it's annoying if you get somewhere and it's closed, but it still is. It's just more important than you think. That's why I get so furious, literally, when people just don't get it. When you just say, "Oh yeah, that's okay, it's fine," you know, it's, "Oh, you've got nothing better to do," and you're just like, "Yeah, there's always, I can always fill my time."
Yeah,
I can always feel it usefully.
Definitely.
I think we're nearly there, Mel.
I think so. We're going to do a sensory snapshot.
Yep.
We are over an hour, so we have actually managed to do it. We can talk. This is basically the conversations we used to have in the shop when you weren't there. So that's why we need a podcast. So there was a moment where I felt a tingly. It's not tingly. Prickly sensation in my lower abdomen. Prickly warm sensation in my lower abdomen.
Yeah, I've got a stabby, almost hot sensation in my shoulder, but I think, and I am pointing to it, but that's where it is. So there you go.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, who joined us, and for those watching on YouTube, obviously for those watching on Twitch, give us a follow, and for those on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you again next week. There are changes coming. We're going to be doing some more streaming, but we're going to plan that a bit better. We're going to structure it and work out what we want to do, and then we'll announce it on our socials, so you can follow us at Mindful Bollocks on most socials. So see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.